Welcome everyone to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. My name is Collin and I am your host. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode number 83 with Celtic Honey. Celtic is a traveling performer. She does burlesque, draglesque, she does cosplay, she does a lot of things that we discuss on this podcast. And she's also a content creator. Does some really cool body art videos online. I will make sure to link all of her socials in the description, so make sure you check that out. And this conversation was great. It was somebody that I met a couple years ago, and we've kept in contact a little bit. I ran into her a few weeks back, and I was like, I need to have her on the podcast. So I made it happen, and I'm really glad I did. And I hope you can really appreciate our conversation. We talked about a lot of different things. I'm not going to list them off, but one big thing we did talk about is consent culture, and that's very important, obviously. Most of us can agree on that, I hope. And Celtic is very passionate about it. And we discussed that, her being a performer, her being a content creator, and the ins and outs of that world. So, without further ado, this is episode number 83 with Celtic Honey. Welcome everyone to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. My name is Collin and I am your host. Today's episode is with Celtic Honey. Celtic, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome. I am glad we were able to do this in person. I'm sorry about the confusion there. Yeah.
It's okay.
I wanted to start out by just giving people an opportunity to know who you are. They're probably like, who is this random person that my audience does not know? So I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, kind of give a little bit of a backstory about what you do and what we're trying to talk about today and kind of focus on, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. So I'm Celtic Honey. I am a performer, cosplayer, hater of free time. I do a whole bunch of things. If it has to do with art, I probably do it in some fashion or form. But my main focus these days is a burlesque, nerdlesque performer, and I travel to cons doing guesting. I do cosplay guesting, guest of honor, different things like that, and run a variety of panels.
And you also do some pretty cool videos on TikTok, and I've seen on Instagram as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good with the makeup art. Like
Thank
some
you.
really cool makeup art, yeah.
Yeah, so one of my roots is also body painting as well.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of body painting and makeup, which filtered well into going into cosplay.
Is your favorite holiday Halloween? Or no?
Well, nowadays it's every day is Halloween, so it's kind of just another day. But it used to be, yes, it was my favorite holiday.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you just seem like you've like that's a big part of what you do is just dressing up in different characters.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like it's kind of like a therapeutic outlet for you in a way?
Absolutely. I feel like a lot of us content creators, we start out doing this because it's an outlet of some kind. I mean, art is therapy, no matter what you do, how you do it, whether it's doing performing, whether it's singing, burlesque, drag, any of that stuff. They're all outlets that we're trying to either convey a message, but also just get our own energy out there. And depending on the variety of types of personalities, I mean, there's a lot of neurospicy in our world. There's a lot of people with various anxiety and a number of things that we're dealing with too. And so this is a way to kind of focus all that energy.
So you said, what was that word you said? Neurospice?
Neurospicy. Yep. We use that a lot in our in the con world performers.
That's not an official term.
No, it is not an official term.
That's a slang term. I was like, neurospicy. I was like, I refer to things as spicy sometimes. Like when people are upset, I say they were being really spicy. Like, because I work in customer service, so like I just had a really spicy call.
Oh, so, yeah. Yeah, spicy means something else in my world.
Yeah, in your world, it sounds different. Yeah.
Because I'm not a spicy content creator. I'm a content creator for cosplay and transition videos and all that kind of stuff and reels and things.
I know what that means. That's a different spicy.
But yeah, so neurospicy is people that are on the spectrum in some way, typically ADHD, but could have some of the autisms or any number of things.
It's a more fun way to describe it. Yeah.
Well, it's such a large, now that we learn a lot more about it, there's a lot more science and a lot more people are diagnosed, and it's extremely common that while we want to say that people are on the spectrum or any of that kind of stuff, it's not really it's not normal anymore. I mean, it's very normal. It's very common. And so normalizing having some sort of on the spectrum or just even having anxiety or any of the number of things, depression, it is all very common things that we're talking only more open about. And we should be, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's things that we embrace and deal with every day. And being content creators, like I said, for me, it's a great way to drive a lot of my energy. And when my mind gets going really busy and everything, it puts it into a focus and makes it constructive.
Yeah, it gives you, and it makes you feel like you have a purpose too. Like if you deal with depression and things like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I definitely have to have something going on. Otherwise, I'm like, oh boy. Then I'll just be sleeping all the time and just, it's not good.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's also the other side of it, which I know you wanted to talk about, burnout. I could talk about burnout for like as a performer and just as a creator, because we want to do all this stuff, and prioritizing that and finding that balance is like it seems to be like the hardest thing to do.
It really is, and even myself, it took me a while to get a handle on it, and get to a point where I'm not working myself so hard that I do allow myself those breaks and that mentality of, because I'm taking a day off, it doesn't mean I'm lazy. It means I need it. I'm self-caring.
Yeah.
I need to drink the wine, and we don't need to drink, but for me, like one of my self-care things is drink wine and play video games. I'm not like going overboard about it. I'm just having that chill time away from the phone.
Blackout.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, I used to have very self-destructive behaviors before getting into performing. So I needed doing all of this. And I even did a Facebook status not that long ago about how like performing actually like saved me because it gave me focus and it kept me from doing those downward spirals of like drinking too much or any of that number of thing. I was very susceptible to those types of behaviors. So getting into doing performing and being busy and doing content creating and all of that kind of stuff, it gives my mind and everything an energy, a purpose, and a focus that's healthy.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, especially I can relate to the going down the wrong path, and I had to shift as well. I mean, that's the reason this podcast exists, because I shifted. Otherwise, it'd still be a dumb party blog that I had for a while, which wouldn't make any sense anymore. Because blogging has kind of phased out anyway. So, but yeah, doing video content has been huge for me, and because I used to be scared to be on camera. Like, I hated it. And I was like, I'd like to be on the other side of the camera, like filming stuff, like in that creative way.
Sure, yeah.
But being on camera, there was something, or it would throw me off. So now, and also like hearing that, everybody's always, a lot of people are weird about hearing their own voice. It doesn't even at this point, like, it doesn't affect me at all. I'm just like, oh, I still think I sound weird, but at the same time, like,
you've embraced it.
Yeah, I've fully embraced it. Yeah, because I've heard myself being recorded. I've been recording stuff on and off since I was like 16, because I used to record music too. So it's like been like, so I'm used to it at this point. But it is nice being able to record at my house, because it's kind of like my comfort zone.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Which is, built the little studio with the fake brick wall that some people think is real, which is awesome on camera, because
it looks amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very believable.
Yeah, I just need to find more stuff to put on the wall. So if you guys have ideas, let me know. Or I need to get like someone over here that will paint it. I don't know.
Maybe you need a mural.
A mural or something. I don't know. We'll keep it open. But when you started creating, and what was one of your first creative outlets that you can think of? Just even going back to as a kid, like, what was the first thing that you really dove into that you were just like always wanting to do?
Oh boy. Well,
or even like after being a kid, more as an adult. What's the first thing you think of that you really dove into?
So the longest thing that I've been doing is actually attending cons. Okay. I've been attending cons for a very, very long time, and I would always cosplay and work on a costume for those. So Halloween, doing that, was doing art of some kind. I was always a doodler. I always drew a lot. Drew, painted, all of those sorts of things. Art's been a very heavy part of my life the whole time. And after moving up here, which was like 18-ish years ago, I knew I wanted to get back into martial arts. And so I did Taekwondo when I was little, and then I did it again when I was in high school. And so I knew I wanted to get back into martial arts in some shape or form. Okay. And so when I moved up here, and I was driving down the road one day and happened to see a school that taught weapons, but also did like Tai Chi and all that kind of stuff. And so I went in there for a free class, and it was amazing. And so that was 17 years ago, and it's been a huge part, and that was Kung Fu. Okay. So Kung Fu was also just a huge, huge part of my life, and learning a skill is always exciting.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Getting to hone that and perfect it and everything. And so doing tournaments helped a lot, because it gave me things to work towards, and having those different ways of getting through and checking off, not necessarily like the boxes or whatever, but making it through the levels and just working towards things is exciting for me.
Yeah. So you said you moved here. That stuck out to me. I didn't realize you're not a native.
No one knows my origin story.
Yeah. So why here and where from?
Okay. So I moved up here because of a relationship.
Classic. Yeah.
I am from Bloomington Normal,
Illinois.
Yeah. And so I was dating somebody, and I hated it where I lived. I didn't want to be there anymore.
College town.
And I met this person, and they asked me to marry them like 2 months into the relationship. It was completely unhealthy. Do not do this. It was very much a thing that I was so desperate to get out that I said yes, and I moved here within like 6 months of dating, and it was very unhealthy, insane, all of that. I was in my younger 20s. It was, now I give my age away.
I wasn't even going to go there.
It's okay. Nobody guesses my age, right? It's the Fae blood. I will ride these genes as long as I can. Yeah. But yeah, so that got me up here. And that relationship did not last very long.
Did you actually get married?
We did.
Ooh.
Even sooner than what we said that we were going to. Let's see. Actually, I think I got married in like 6 months. Something like that. It was very short. And we were together for about like a year. Mm-hmm. And like year and a half. The whole relationship was like maybe 2 years long. Okay. But yes, it was not a good time.
No.
And so, but I always say learning experiences, and everything happens for a reason. It got me up to the Quad Cities. I love it here. I can't imagine living anywhere else. And there's so much melting pot of creativity in this area, culturally, art, music, everything, that I've just loved it here. And so, so I stayed.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you stayed, because otherwise we would have never met.
Yeah.
But the thing about the art and everything around the internet, all the stuff that's going on, people don't even realize it. Like, the people that aren't involved in, like, any type of creative scene, they're like, there's nothing to do around here. I'm like, you have no idea how many things there are to do around here, and how many people are doing awesome stuff. Like,
yeah, it boggles my mind when people are like that. And I know where I come from has changed a lot since I left, but when I left at that time, there was nothing really going on there. It was nowhere near what it is like today. It's a lot more built up, especially Normal. And I mean, I don't even recognize it, how it looks now. And so for people to say that there's nothing to do here, and there is something for everyone. It's just a matter of finding out those connections and the people to talk to and all that kind of stuff, because there is a lot of really interesting things. If you like history, there's a lot of really neat history here. I mean, we had our own version of Capone here. Like, there's just so much neat stuff within this area. So, yeah.
Do you feel like when people say that you take it personally a little bit? I take it personally a little bit sometimes. Not too personally, but like when people are like, mine with comedy specifically. I'll talk to people about comedy. I'll randomly like, oh, when's the last time you went to a show locally? Or they'll be like, there's local comedy here. I'm just like, what the? How do you not know about this? Like,
there's so much comedy here. One of my good friends is a comic.
Yeah.
So actually, a lot of my friends are comedians.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah, that is how we met. Yeah.
The open mic.
Yeah, people trying to get me on stage.
Yeah, because that was random, because you're not normally... How many mics have you done?
I did a handful, and I know that people wanted me to do the comedian thing. They were really... pushing for it and wanted me to do it, because I mean, I did burlesque and do the comedy and do all of the stuff and everything.
The worlds kind of blend. It's fun.
They do, and it was fun, but I also was working on trying to hone down the different things, because I was doing way too much and all sorts of things, and so I needed to narrow it down, the focuses, so that I could hone those crafts. And so I decided to choose burlesque, nerdlesque was my main focus, and my cosplay content. Those are like my main things that I focus on now. And with cons, because I do panels and I do a variety of panels, I get to combine all of my worlds, which is really nice. So I get to talk about kung fu art. I get to talk about consent culture. I get to talk about all kinds of things and put it all together. All of the years of experience of the various things I get to put into one space. And so that's nice, but it's, like I said, comedy was something that was newer. And while I enjoyed it, it wasn't something that I knew I wanted to put in as a career. And so I wanted to leave that space for the people that do want to put it as a career and focuses and things. And there's some amazing female comics out here. And there's one that does burlesque and comedy as well. And so when I saw, there is. I saw those names. So I am excited to see them go on stage and do the thing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something I wanted to really focus on. So
yeah, you felt like you couldn't really give it your full attention. So you're like, I'm gonna.
And when I do something, I have to hyper focus and I have to be the best at it. So and I wanted to really focus on, like I said, the burlesque. I was working on those connections and that networking, and being an independent traveling performer, I have to narrow down those focuses and things and those relationships that I'm nurturing and making sure that I am putting my best foot forward in the crafts that I am deciding to do. So,
so the con culture in general has always been interesting to me because I don't know that much about it. I know it's like its own little world and its own little, like, almost like a fellowship of people that all gather. And when I say nerd out, I don't mean that in an offensive way because I nerd out on a lot of stuff. So I feel like that's a decent way to describe it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so how long have you been doing the cons? You said a long time, like probably like 15, 20 years, like that.
It's been over 20 years.
Okay.
And that's putting it generously.
Yeah.
I've been going to cons for a very, very long time. Gen Con was my roots. I did gaming. I am a gamer, tabletop, card, all that stuff.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to do it for a little while because I got busy with performing and things. So if you have a D&D game or role-playing game or some sort of thing, I would love to possibly join.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing cons for a very long time. And like I said, I've been casually cosplaying for a super long time. And just got more recently heavily into it a little over a year ago. A good friend of mine, Night Mage, talked me into cosplay guesting and said that I should do that. And I'm like, okay. It never really occurred to me to do something like that. But we were hanging out at a con in Myrtle Beach. And I was in my Hella cosplay and walking around. And that cape is regal and magnificent. Mm-hmm. And so it was just a really cool energy of people, how they perceive you and receive you and all of that kind of stuff. And it was just super neat to be able to impact others positively through creativity. And getting to sit in even on just that panel and talk about makeup and wigs and all that kind of stuff was fantastic, and getting to engage with the community. And so now that I do this professionally and get to do more panels and get out there more, and it's been a really amazing journey. It's just been fantastic to talk about all these topics that I am super passionate about. Mm-hmm. And yes, the whole culture is very inviting. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that you have to feel like, but I'm not a cosplayer, I can't go to that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely go do the thing. Everybody, you do not have to be in cosplay to go to any con, to go to an anime con, comic con, any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Costumes are optional.
Yeah.
And
that's good to know, because I'm not a big dress-up guy.
Yeah. No, there's all kinds of people in normie clothes. You don't have to be in cosplay. Yeah. That's a big misconception. There's a ton of cosplay out there because it's much more accessible now than it was 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tutorials. There's so many more neat materials to work with. I just recently made my idea from Final Fantasy IX or Final Fantasy 8. No, 9? 8. Sorry. Games mixed up. I did my Beatrix from Final Fantasy 9.
I don't think anybody will fact check you. We'll see.
They might. I really do love Final Fantasy. It's like one of my favorite franchises. Yeah. But I did an idea from Final Fantasy 8. And I made a helmet and all foam attachments and everything. And I would not have been able to do that 20 years ago not easily anyway, because the materials would not have been there. And if I did, it was going to be heavy and not very practical.
Not good for your
let alone
neck.
To do burlesque in. So, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yes. So, con culture, it is a world in its own. Mm-hmm. But it's a very accepting world. So
you've noticed with so you do several different panels. So walk me through some of the different panels and how a panel works.
Sure.
Because like I said, I'm dumb. I don't really know.
So think of it as a conference. Cons are conventions, but it's essentially like a conference. There's tons of different panels and workshops and things that you can learn. And at cons, they have a variety. They'll have education. They'll have fan fiction. They'll have fun little one-offs of games that you can play or for game show games, or they have Q&A sessions with voiceover actors or the various guests that come to a con. Typically, there's like voice actors, there's cosplay guests, there's industry guests, all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. And some of the larger ones will have like movie actors and things as well. And so with the panels that I do are educational ones. Okay. My most popular ones are my avatar, the style behind the elements, because 2 of the styles I'm actually trained in for Kung Fu. So I geek out and talk about Avatar for an hour and demonstrate some of the moves and basically make it relatable. So I bring it from the series, the anime, to real life and show how the different things correlate and make sense. Okay. I also do like a body paint 101 and talk about the different materials that you need and that you don't have to spend a lot of money on products and things. But my biggest one that's really near and dear to me is consent culture, cosplay consent, because it's a very big topic that needs to be talked about. Mm-hmm. And so I'm getting it out there a lot more. I always do that panel at every con that I do. I push heavily for it. And now I'm trying to push more for an 18 plus panel so that we can talk about more specifically after party culture. Yeah. And the things that need to be talked about to keep people safe.
Okay. So what are some of the specific things that you try to bring up or that you're trying to mitigate with these panels and trying to keep people safe?
So with consent culture, it's something that we're able to talk more about nowadays. Yeah. There was a whole just environment up until even just a few years ago where people had this whole, if it happens there, it stays there sort of thing. And that whole phrase just does not age well now because we should talk about things if something negatively happens. And these are sensitive, trigger warning topics of abuse or rape or any number of things if people that have been roofied. And so it's a matter of teaching people how they can be safer. So the biggest thing is to remember to ask first. Yeah. And this is not only on the receiving side, but the giving side, because once again, there's a lot of people in neurospicy in our culture, especially in con culture. And depending on those different ranges and things, there's people who don't necessarily understand social cues. And so they can have miscommunications that happen that are not taken very well. They're not received well. And they shouldn't. It's their right. It's the receiver's right to take offense to that or whatever and things. But we want to work on helping both sides and bridging that miscommunication so that we prevent these situations from happening. So I encourage people to not only learn about consent culture from keeping yourself safe, but also people that have those issues of constantly being misunderstood and different things like that to come to those panels as well to help them better understand and keep in that mindset of no matter what, if you don't remember anything else, is to ask first.
Yeah, communication.
Ask first. If you ask first in any scenario, you're going to keep yourself and all parties safe because you're asking for consent. Ask for preferred names. Ask for preferred pronouns. Ask before touching. Ask before taking pictures. All of that. Ask first. And that will save so much. And so I have badge ribbons that I hand out that say ask first on them. And badge ribbons are just things that you can take a little adhesive off and attach it to your badge. So people, it's a very popular thing now, which is fantastic to see. You can see it all over now at all the cons. Awesome. And it's actually been around for years at like gaming cons, like Gen Con and things. But it's really neat to see it take over heavily now in the anime and Comic-Con culture. But so I have the Ask First badge ribbons, and then I'm also going to be having cup sticker lids that people can take with them and put on their drinks to keep their drinks safe.
Yeah.
So
I think I have heard about those.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah.
It's a company called Nightcap. And so
what a name. Great name.
Yeah. So have those ordered and on the way, and I'm excited to incorporate that into my panel as well. But consent is something that's been very, very near and dear to me, and I take very, very seriously. So any opportunity I can to educate on the various levels of consent, because I don't talk just about like physical consent, it's environmental consent, it's social media consent. There's so many different levels to it that I cover in this panel.
So, what would you say is the biggest hurdle or the biggest issue when it comes to consent culture, like that you have to deal with when you're talking about it, that you notice has been a problem, that you're really like a specific thing that you're trying to? I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, but like a specific thing that you're trying to stop from happening. Is there anything in particular that like was getting to be a problem where you're like, this really needs to be talked about more because this keeps happening? You don't have to necessarily give examples, but that was a very worded question. I'm sorry, but
it's okay.
I think you understand what
I do.
At. Yeah.
So it's something that is rampant. Not only not specifically in con culture, it's rampant everywhere. It is rampant in any social type of situations, party situations can happen. And that is boundaries. Boundaries being respected. And disrespected, rather. And one of the biggest things is that when there's after-party culture, there's a lot of drinking, imbibing, and other substances. And so those make you impaired. And so you're not necessarily in a place, potentially, to say no. And that is where the other party needs to take responsibility. Because if you are not in a place to say no, then that is not consent. They cannot give consent, therefore do not proceed. And it's something that I want to drive home to a lot of people, because it's the responsibility of making sure that you are also taking that time to be respectful. And even if you're still able to give consent, even if you're nice and loose and everything, consent is always revocable. Consent is revocable, no matter what. And it doesn't matter where you are, whatever situation, how far you've gotten. At any given point, consent is revocable. And for people to understand and make sure they understand that is their right to say no at any given point, is important for people to understand that they have that power, because many, many times someone will get into a situation and they will either be made felt that they have to be obligated to go through with it. Or they'll be guilt tripped, or any number of things. And it's a very dangerous and negative psychological game that happens far too often. And so the other part I focus on in the panel is making sure that people feel empowered when they leave. And they feel empowered enough that no matter what, it is their right and their choice to say no. And if it is not an emphatic yes, hell yes, let's do the thing, it is a no. Maybes are not yeses.
Yes. I could totally understand that. Maybes are not yet. I'm one of those people that's like I want you to fill out a form. I want all of the... Because I am a second guesser of everything. That's just the way my mind works anyway, which is it's very good when it comes to consent. So, But yeah, I could see that. And once you mix in other like alcohol and things like that, that's when things start to get really messy.
Yep.
When it comes to consent, because it's like, was I even able to consent, or it's like two drunk people and that whole thing. And that's one thing, is like, if one person's drunk and the other person's drunk, they technically both can't consent. So how does that work?
Yeah.
So that's confusing.
And that gets into some very gray areas that can be very messy. So trying to make sure that people take more responsibility, or try to be as responsible as they can be. If you are going to imbibe, if you are going to, that you're going to have that major night out, make sure you have eyes on you, and make sure that you have a accountability buddy. Somebody who knows your whereabouts, somebody who knows what you're up to. Never go to a room party alone. Make sure someone knows what that room number is. And this is even not in just con culture. This is in general. If you're going to go out on a date, have a timeline. Make sure somebody knows what your timeline is. Yeah. And so that they know that you got home safe, or that you're having a good time, and who that person is, like their license plate. This sounds very paranoid, but we want to be safe in this day. And if that person is on the up and up, they're not going to take offense to the fact that you're just trying to keep yourself safe. So
if they're not up to no good, then they're not gonna care, right?
Exactly. So it's making sure that you're keeping yourself safe. You're putting in safeguards. So just making sure somebody, and if you're going to a room party, you're doing something with someone, or not like in personal, but if you're going to be out and about and doing different things and imbibing and whatever, take a buddy with you so that they have eyes on you. Someone that is sober, or they know they're not going to go nuts or anything. So either have eyes on you, have an accountability buddy, have somebody who knows what your timeline is.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, to have that second set of eyes for awareness. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So, as far as doing these panels, and where exactly do you usually? Is it mostly Comic-Con, or is it different cons, or is there ones that are in particular that you seem to be like not specialized in, but seem to have like the better network in, where you're like they keep asking you to come back?
Anime cons are definitely more of the culture. Yeah. I do enjoy Comic Cons. Yeah. They kind of have a slightly different vibe than anime cons. Anime cons tend to be kind of more of like evening, like 24-hour sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas Comic Cons tend to have more of a regular schedule without like throughout the evening programming. But I enjoy both equally. The anime ones tend to go a little better because more people know Avatar, or are very fanatic about Avatar, so that panel tends to go over a lot better. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have fun with all of them, and hopefully I'll be doing some more gaming cons and different things as well. Like I said, this is my first year, like I said, doing this professionally. Yeah. 2023 was, so I'm excited to expand out and network more, and I'm making new connections and branching out. So we'll see what the future brings with that.
So when you travel, do you try to do burlesque when you're traveling as well, or is that just a separate thing, a completely separate thing?
So that's the other thing too. With Comic-Cons, they tend to not have burlesque shows, or nerdlesque is what we call it, because nerdlesque is cosplay themed burlesque. Got it. And anime cons will more times than not have a burlesque show of some kind, or some sort of entertainment. And I will usually try to audition with whoever that troupe is, or I'll talk with whoever about being in their show. And it's... so
you can kind of blend the two together.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I get to do all of my worlds. Like I said, I get to combine everything into one place, and that has been absolutely fantastic. And like last September, October, it's crossover time at SuperCon, I got to do draglesque, which is my drag king persona as a burlesque act. And I got to do my Jedi to Sith number, which I have as a burlesque act and a draglesque act. So I got to show both sides. So that was really fun.
So how long have you been doing the draglesque things? I didn't even know that was a thing until...
There is so much kind of lesque out there.
I
There's
didn't even know
gorelesque. There's
I didn't even know that was a
gothlesque.
thing until like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah. So I've been a performer since 2020, which takes a lot of people off guard because I am fairly new to performing. However, I have been doing body painting for 30 years. I've also done acting throughout that time. Kung Fu plays heavily into my burlesque style because it's very fluid and flowy, and people that have seen me perform, it's very ethereal, and that's just my movements and things. So I'm what's called a neo-burlesque performer. So I'm not classical or classically trained. You're not going to see it like the like what you'll see down in NOLA classic burlesque.
Yeah.
Not all NOLA burlesque is classic, but so I'm not going to have that type of feel. It's going to be of different spectrum of type of burlesque. And so while I've only been performing since 2020, and I've also been modeling for like 6 years or so, 2018, somewhere around there. Yeah, a lot of skill sets that I've built up over many years has played well into getting into performing. And I've always been a people person. I've always been good at talking to people and making connections and different things. And so it's just been a culmination of life experience that's kind of brought me to this point. So
what would you say would be the most, of all the things you do, what is the most stressful usually, where you're like, where you get that burnout, where you have to like take a day or whatever and just like have a self-care day? What's something that really causes you more stress?
So it's not really stress, but it's exhausting.
Exhaustion, okay.
Something that people don't really understand about being a traveling performer is it's just that you're traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And most times I am driving, and I drive anywhere from nearby to 6 hours to get to my gigs. When it comes to con guesting and different things, I'm fortunate enough that I'll fly. I fly whenever possible, but it's not always possible. Because one of the unspoken truths about performing is it's not always fully covered. More times than not, it's not fully covered. You're still out-of-pocket expense. Yeah. And so the stress comes in of making sure that you have those funds to fund this, and I'm going to offend some people, hobby. You need to make sure that you have the ability to cover those expenses. And when you're able to cover all of your expenses and do the thing and have it be a regular type deal, which for me, it's turning into a career. But in the beginning, you need to treat it like a hobby because there is a lot of building. There's a lot of building. There's a lot of expense. There's a lot of time spent into your craft, making connections, all of that. And all of that stuff is what's stressful. The actually getting to be on stage,
the prep,
is the tip of the iceberg, and everything else underneath of it is heavy. There's a lot to do. And so when we're really booked and busy and all of that kind of stuff, it's great, but it can also be a blessing and a curse, because when you're really, really busy all the time, you're also not giving yourself that time to reset and to relax. And we don't take into account necessarily how tiring traveling can be and how much it takes out of you. So while the gig itself is only one day, you're going there like maybe the day before, you're traveling the day after. So there's a lot in there. And so by the time it's all over with, you have to go back to your normie job if you have a normie job. And so it starts all over again. So making sure that time is in there and scheduling that time without feeling like you're letting yourself down. Yep, or you're missing out or any number of things. And the biggest thing is we feel like we have to be constantly booked. Otherwise, it lessens our value. It lessens our visibility, especially starting out. And so working on building in that self-care and being okay with having that self-care time built into there and telling people that, no, I'm not available. And they say, well, you're not booked. You don't have a show or something like that.
I didn't say.
Allow yourself that time because that is still time that is booked in your life because that is your self-care time that you're scheduled. So you're still scheduling that time and it is still booked in a sense because you need to book that time for yourself.
Do you do that far in advance, or do you kind of like get to a point where you're like, where you have like kind of a red flag or some type of buzzer go off in your head, like, oh, I need to schedule a day?
I was very bad about that. Leading up,
it's something you've tried to get better at.
And honestly, up until last year, last year was insane and very, very busy. And I usually around this time, so the month of January into February-ish, I always take off for the most part. So January I only did one gig, and that was it. Normally I do 4 to 6. And so I allowed that time to back off and reset. So I kind of take a big chunk of time, whereas I should be taking more little bits of time. And so part of that for this year was I added some additions to my house, which made me be more responsible. I have 2 kittens.
There you go.
And so having that and building that in, and also just making myself take a step back. I'm at a point now where I am cognitively giving myself more breaks and allowing myself that forgiveness that just because I'm taking that day off doesn't mean I'm a failure, doesn't mean I'm lazy, it means I need it. And I am allowed to have the day off. So it's coming along even up until now. But burnout is definitely a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And people go and go and go because they feel like if they're not doing all the things, then they're not going to be relevant. People are going to forget. And as a content creator and having more following now on growing still, I'm still in like the baby stages of being a content creator. It's constant stress of making sure, because you have to post every day, you have to have content every day, but it's finding that good juggling of what kind of content and just remembering that even posting a picture to music, that's still content. And there's always things that you can pull from to have content readily available. You don't have to be creating new content every day.
Yeah, you can get creative with improvising content, basically. Yeah, I've learned that a little bit lately because I was like, I gotta film another video, do this, and I kind of want to. And,
it's a lot. It is a lot. And so, yes, it's working on finding those balances. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as far as performance, do you have any type of performance anxiety, or did you have any at the beginning, and how did you kind of work with that as far as, or do you have some type of like ritual, or not a ritual, but like some type of way to get yourself prepared before you go on stage or before you do a panel and talk in front of that could be, that's intimidating. So.
Sure, yeah. So I attribute my tournament days to helping me through that. So I used to do a lot of martial art tournaments.
Okay.
Way back when. And I used to be really nervous doing those. And I would basically go up, do the thing, black out.
Yeah.
And whatever happened. In the beginning of performing, that was kind of the same thing. Anytime I do anything for the very first time, I am absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
Then once I do it, I'm like, oh, okay. So in the beginning, yes, absolutely. There was just a matter of just remembering to breathe, to have that recentering. For me, because of my habits that I know I was susceptible to, I kept myself to a very specific beverage ritual. So I always do 1 shot of Jameson and I drink my gin and tonic, and that's throughout the entire show. I just allow myself 1 beverage. And then depending on what's going on afterwards can vary, but I keep to that one specific thing. And so that makes sure that I keep myself in line throughout the entire evening. I keep myself responsible, and it loosens me up a little bit, but not enough to be like messy or anything. And so it just quiets the mind a little bit.
Falling on stage.
Yeah. So, and I take my job very seriously. So I make sure that I always have my wits about me. So it's enough to keep me relaxed, but not, like I said, irresponsible. So my pre-show ritual is just getting ready, listening to music, and I will do that 1 shot, and then I'm ready to go.
Are you someone that like doesn't eat before shows? Do you have?
No, we don't typically eat at all before. We'll eat. Most performers you'll find will eat maybe at like lunchtime-ish.
Yeah.
And some people won't eat at all. They'll eat like first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I typically will eat like around lunchtime-ish, and then I won't eat the rest of the day. Now, my family, yeah, my tribe up here will make sure that I eat something during. So one of the event that we run is a 4-hour event. It's called Muddy Water Mayhem.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, so they make sure that I eat. We always have a hospitality there, so we have a whole spread of food, and somebody throughout the night will be like, eat something. So but that's a different kind of circumstance because that's a marathon of an event, and just making sure that we get through it all. We're hydrating, we're doing all that kind of good stuff. But
that's during the summer, right?
We do them 4 times a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Before, when it comes to a burlesque show, drag show, any of that type of thing, drag shows for me are a little less stress, but that's just my own thing. I feel I'm more comfortable and easygoing in drag because of my drag persona is very laid back and chill and like, all right, let's go, let's play, whatever.
Bro.
Yeah, we're very hyper, but we're also just like we're just living our best life, kind of thing. Whereas burlesque is definitely more. A lot of my stuff tends to be ethereal and make you feel something and move you and all that kind of stuff. So that's definitely I listen to music and I just get into a vibe and do the thing.
So costuming, I did not realize until, because it's only been within the last couple of years that I've learned about burlesque or gone to burlesque shows and talked to people, in the community, and the amount of time and money that is spent on costuming blew my mind.
Oh, yes. That's why I also say that it's a hobby in the beginning.
Yeah. You're going to be in the red.
You're going to be in the red for a long time. There's costumes that still have not paid for themselves yet. So, and that's one of the benefits of being independent. So when it comes to being a performer, it's a hobby in the beginning because you are going to absolutely be in the red.
Yeah.
You're not going to make money on your costumes unless you're a traveling performer and you're traveling with those acts. And so being an independent allows me the freedoms to go all over the place. And a trend, not really a trend, but a culture nowadays that's much more common. There's still troops out there, but something that I find a lot when I travel and perform with various productions, I will call them, is that they're more productions rather than a troupe specifically. And so it allows people to go all over and network and various things. And we're able to just travel with our acts. Mm-hmm. So different productions have different themes. And there is no like practice during the week. You practice on your own, and you're taking classes. You should be taking classes, which is also money. All of it's an investment.
Yes.
So if you want to make this into a career, you're going to make a heavy, heavy investment into it. So
time and money.
Time and money. So having a job that, one, allows you to do this sort of thing, but also will finance this in addition to having your normal life and paying your regular expenses is a big part of it. So that's another thing that's been fortunate for my successes is that I have the financial freedom to be able to do the different things. So it's important to make sure.
So you're able to do this full time.
So, well, I don't do it full time yet.
Not yet. You're getting there.
But I do a lot of different things. So I do a wide variety of stuff in addition to. And burlesque itself, just being on stage, that's not the thing that's going to make you the money. And that's something else that's not really talked about enough. I am doing a panel. I'm going to plug myself for a second. That's fine. I am doing a panel on February 10th that talks about performing culture and being a traveling performer and the realities of being a performer in general. Whether you want to do this as a career or where exactly in life you want to see this, whether it's going to be your hobby, career, whatever. But having passive income is where you're going to survive, basically.
Yeah, by doing steady.
Being able to do classes or having workshops or having a YouTube channel or any number of things. Being on stage is a very, very little part of it. It's important because that's what people know you for, and you're able to show off your craft. It's like a tournament, like a martial arts tournament. You're going to these to show your style. And while you're not competing with anybody, it's different. Because burlesque, we want everyone to succeed and shine and all of that stuff. But you're still out there putting your best foot forward and showing off your craft. And you want producers, because every show has a producer of some other show of some kind, especially if you're doing productions. There's going to always be somebody that's going to be like, I really enjoyed that. I would love to have you come be in my show. And that's the networking game. Yeah. And how it all comes together. So it's, costumes, all of it. It's very expensive. And it's very time consuming. Rhinestoning takes forever. And rhinestones are expensive. Yeah.
So when it comes to social media, I noticed that seems like your biggest platform is, would you say it would be TikTok or?
It is TikTok technically.
As far as the numbers.
Numbers wise, but TikTok is at my biggest growing engagement currently is Facebook. Yeah. I more than doubled my followers on Facebook in the last year. Facebook's been really
pushing creators lately because they're trying to get people off of TikTok. So, if you're posting consistently, I've been slacking on there. But stuff can take off really easily.
Yeah. So I've been meaning to work on my TikTok channel more.
That's a revenue builder too. Like Facebook pays better than TikTok.
Yeah, they do. YouTube pays pretty well. Yes. I haven't cultivated that one quite as I have a bunch of series that I'm have in the works to record to get on YouTube, but also to get it onto TikTok. They have a TikTok series thing. Yeah. And that's where you can kind of really make some money. The lives are where it's at and getting on a schedule.
I've heard the lives are where it's at.
So, I mean, there's a lot of potential revenue builders on all the different platforms. Instagram, I'm starting to kind of get the hang of.
Yeah. Instagram's not bad either if you can get some stuff consistently. That it pays this similar like Facebook.
Yeah, but yeah, Facebook is my main platform. I would say that's showing the most success currently.
Yeah, because did you get on TikTok early though?
I got on TikTok in 2020.
Yeah.
I was one of the pandy people that was like, free time. Oh no.
Yeah.
And although I started it like right before the pandemic hit, because I went back and I thought I started it during the pandemic and it was right before it. And I have no idea why. I was bored. Who knows? Yeah. I'm like, what's this about? Yeah. And then during the pandemic, that's when it was like, oh no. And so that's when I brought the vampire character that a lot of people know to life, my Eden Savage. I was able to bring a platform to bring her out, and then doing the different characters and call them OCs. I created like a couple other ones and played around with it and all that kind of stuff. And so the creativity side, that was definitely the side I knew I wanted to be on TikTok. Yeah. So a lot of my following on TikTok, actually everywhere, is because of Eden. They really like Eden.
Oh, okay.
There's a big vampire community out there.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, it's, and a lot of people, especially now, I have a couple of videos that are trending currently for my Sith Darth Talon take. Yeah. And that's doing pretty well.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
Thank you. So all of those types of things, like people are really enjoying, and people are knowing me more for cosplay now and getting into that mindset of realizing I do a lot more. And I'm trying to get the burlesque part out in there as well so that people are aware that I do that sort of thing. With my Instagram, it's a little difficult because my Instagram is tagged as a 21 plus. So I created a family-friendly TikTok or Instagram. So I actually have 2 Instagram accounts. So I did notice that, yeah. One's just for cosplay and family-friendly. It's called Celtic Honey World. And then the other one is the Celtic Honey, and that's the 18 plus. So I post all the burlesque things and all that kind of stuff. And I still promote all the shows. I just don't post as much spiciness
spiciness
on Facebook anymore. So you'll see a random Facebook approved booty post, but you're not going to see like pasties or anything on there. So so I put all that on Patreon.
Okay.
As a platform.
I know there's some people that are that have recently, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their name, that have gone the OnlyFans route. Well,
there's several.
There's several. Mm-hmm. Is there a reason you have not gone that route and decided, or is it something that you're going to do in the future? I'm just curious because it's like there's so many people that are on there.
Mm-hmm. So I during the pandemic, I actually did OnlyFans and Snaps Premium or whatever it was. Yeah. So I did do those things during that time, and I did fine. But it wasn't the outlet that me personally wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I love my sex worker friends. I love my spicy friends. Yeah. And I have lots of them that do various levels from photos to in person to all sorts of things. Yeah. And it's just not for me. It's not my focus. Yeah, I get it. When it comes to my burlesque, some of my numbers are a little saucier, spicier. But in general, for my journey and my vision and how I portray myself, my style, it's like I said, it falls into that whole ethereal and that type of thing.
More mystery.
So, it's very mystery, that sort of stuff. I use a lot of makeup and body paint type things and whatever. And so with that, while my burlesque, like I do have, like I said, some numbers that are spicy. I don't know why I'm saying saucy.
Yes.
Saucy. Yeah. it's not the focus.
It's just not. Yeah.
I mean, I do sell prints. I just don't really advertise it.
Yeah.
So I mean, people can buy prints of like my pasties shots from shows.
Yeah.
And booty shots and things like that, but I don't. You're not going to just see it out there necessarily. And like I said, Patreon's my platform. I like Patreon because you can do different platforms, or I don't know if you can do different tiers and OnlyFans. I'm assuming you can. With OnlyFans, it's like you can buy extras or something like that.
Yeah, there's add-ons.
It's been a few years since
I don't
I've
know.
been on
I've
there.
heard. Yeah, I've just heard about it.
But I like Patreon because I can do multiple tiers, and so people can join for just $2, and you can see pictures of titties and kitties, covered titties and kitties. They're pasties; they're not full on.
Yeah.
But or like just everyday things or whatever, and then the next tier will be shots from shows or whatever. And I post all the videos of my performances on Patreon if you do the $10 tier. And you'll see like my behind the scenes, and I'll do different tutorials, or I'll show like everything I use in my regimen kind of thing. And then I have the top tier where you get to do polls, and you get extras and all sorts of stuff or whatever. So I mean, there's still some quote unquote spicy stuff in there, but
not quite the same.
Yeah, but you're not going to get, the more risque, in-depth things that you're going to see my beautiful sex worker friends do for you. So, but I'm very sex positive, very body positive, and I love, like I said, I love all of my sex worker friends. Yeah. But for myself, my past specifically,
gotta know your lane. Yeah.
This is where I want to focus, and there's a lot of cosplayers that are on the OnlyFans route and everything and do fantastic. And they travel all over and cosplay guests and everything. So I mean, I know like it doesn't hinder my ability to get booked or anything, but for the different stuff that I like to offer for my con offerings and everything, for panels and all that sort of stuff too. It's just, once again, too many things is not great.
Yeah.
And so doing Patreon puts it in one little thing, and I can focus it all. And because when you get into doing the spicy content, well, now you have to make extra videos, you have to make extra prints, extra photos. There's a whole other thing, because it's a lot of work, and that's the big thing with people. They joke about, oh, I'm just going to join OnlyFans. Well, it's work. You're not going to make money unless you work. Yeah. And that's the most frustrating thing, and I know that my friends get sick of hearing it as well when people say that, because no, it's you can't just hop on there and make money. There's a lot to it.
Well, there's competition.
There's a lot. It's a very flooded market. And so the biggest thing with that, as with anything, is find out what makes you marketable. Yep. And play to your strengths.
That can apply to almost anything.
It applies to just about everything. Yeah. And for me, it's my booty.
That's
people like this peach. So so you play to your strengths, and I embrace being curvy, and so preaching not only consent but body positivity, and speaking out for LGBT rights and all of that. Like, it's very important for me to always show that I am of an accepting, like, I want people to always feel comfortable around me. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I've done a good job of that. People tell me I do a good job of that. Yeah. And I always want to tell and put out there in the universe of, be yourself and do the thing. That's one of the biggest things I hear, is that people are like, oh, you're so brave. I hate the word brave. But they'll say brave, or, oh, gosh, I wish I could do that, or whatever. And it's like, you can do that.
Funny thing is, I've heard that when people talk to me about comedy too. Same words.
Yeah. There's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And it's,
absolutely.
if you're terrified of speaking in public, then that's a legitimate thing. But just do it. Doesn't matter if you stand up there and don't say anything. You got up there and you did the thing.
Yeah.
And that's something. So taking the first step is the biggest thing.
Yeah, the action. Taking that action. Mm-hmm. So one last question I want to ask you, because I'm curious, I don't think I've asked this before, is how did you come up with your name? 'Cause that's not your real name, obviously.
It is not.
Yeah.
So, years ago, because I created this, I went by this name back when I started modeling. Mm-hmm. There was a honey liqueur out there that used to be called Celtic Honey. They just recently changed their name to Irish Crossing. And it's a very smooth honey whiskey liqueur. And me and a partner at the time, we came across this and we had one night and whatever, and it was jokingly like, if you ever do burlesque, that's it. That would be your name. Because it's very smooth but dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's just, you go down smooth, but you got a nice burn.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I'm surprised I never even used that as like my tag or anything. But
still can.
I'm very set in my yin yang in the Midwest Plains. It signifies like everything about me. But yeah, it was based off a beverage, and I am also Celtic. I'm Irish, Welsh, and Scottish.
Okay.
Among other things. And so embracing that heritage part of me, which is why I say Celtic, not Celtic.
Yeah.
Celtic is the traditional traditional way of saying that word. Yeah. And so, so that's how it came about, and it just stuck. And I have people, I tell everybody to call me honey because it's a good general way of addressing me. So no matter what scenario we're in, hi honey is very easy to remember. But I have a lot of people that call me Celtic or honey, so it doesn't matter either one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it stuck, and now it's just me, and this is my persona. I can't imagine going by anything else.
Is that a point where, like, who calls you by your real name at this point?
Not many people anymore. And I barely even identify with my real name anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's far more comfortable, honestly, to go by Celtic or honey these days.
That's like my friend Veronica. Have you met Veronica? Memoir?
I think so.
She's done burlesque a little bit with the newer troupe. I can't remember the name of the troupe. She's going to hate me for that.
Oh, Dark Desires?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, she actually...
I may have met her.
Her background, she used to be a stripper.
Oh.
And many years ago. And then, she started doing comedy. And, now she's dabbling in burlesque as well. Mm-hmm. But, Veronica Memoir is not her real name, but that's how she responds better to it. Like, it's weird. I called her yesterday and got her voicemail, and it was like, and it said her real name because she's like has a professional job. Right. And I was like, whoa! Like
you exist.
It sounded like a different person. Mm-hmm. It threw me off. It threw me a curveball, and I need to give her more shit about that.
I definitely freak people out with my like daytime persona. I mean, normie life, whatever.
Normie life, yeah.
But even my friends are like, I can't imagine calling you that name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't identify with it. And even like my close knit friends call me Celtic or honey now. Like no, I don't go by that name. So, and it's just more comfortable.
Yeah.
So, and with like con culture and all of that stuff, and with burlesque, everything I do basically is under the Celtic Honey umbrella. Yeah. And so it's
brand.
It's very comfortable to go by that. So, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I never did the stage name thing for comedy. it came across my mind at first a little bit, but I had already done a mic, and I was like, I can't. And also with my name, nobody in the world has my name.
Yeah, it's a very unique name.
So I'm like, all right, I kind of already have. I don't need to waste my time trying to figure out a name.
Exactly.
Or doing the Wu-Tang name generator. Yeah. Well, that'd be true. Find a new rap name. That's specifically more for rap names. But
right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting to learn about the different worlds that you're a part of, and I wouldn't even I didn't think when I started doing comedy that I would meet so many people that do burlesque.
Yeah, it's a very interesting
like,
crossover line.
I was like, how is this? It's cool, but I'm like, I don't even know how this is. How did we become a community? It's cool though.
Yeah, it definitely blended a lot in this like last couple of years, did it?
Yeah, and I just started doing comedy a couple of years ago, so it's like,
I feel like because I've gone to comedy shows for a while, and yeah, it just seems and feels like burlesque and the comedy line has crossed over more recently. I would say after the pandemic, it feels like. Because I did stand up.
I just want to perform. Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, because I did stand up once or twice. Oh gosh, I don't remember when I did stand up things. It was before the pandemic because I was part of a sketch comedy troupe and everything before burlesque was even a glimmer.
I'm trying to do more sketches this year because I've had ideas of what I want to do.
Oh, nice.
I've always liked sketch comedy. I've just never. I used to do it when I was a kid, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think I would. And I like writing, so.
Oh, right on, yeah. Yeah, I used to joke that I'm not funny, but the writers are. And so that's why I preferred sketch comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I just need to assemble a group and start doing it because I've seen a lot of good ones online, and I'm like, that's not too far out there. Like, that's something I could have thought of,
Yeah, absolutely. And I do acting as well. So that's, if you want to,
if
you ever want to have somebody stand in, I will do it.
I probably will need that because, it seems like there's others out there that do acting and too. And there's, it seems like the people in the creative community around here, like, they don't just do one thing anyway. There's something else that they dabble in.
We are very multifaceted peoples.
Because we're all like we're all just super ADD.
We are. It really is. I have fully embraced it, and it's made my mental health so much better.
Yeah, you gotta just
by just leaning hard into all of that and knowing exactly how the brain is going to. I don't know exactly how it functions every day, but I've definitely worked hard to moderate myself so that I can, when I see something like a behavior or whatever, start to creep in of how to like kind of veer it into a more constructive way.
What do you attribute that to? Like, was there any like therapy, or was that just kind of like self-awareness, or
both?
A little bit of both.
I have a really good therapist.
That's
and a few years ago, I actually underwent EMDR therapy, which is amazing.
I've heard of it, and I know too many acronyms, so you're going to have to tell me what that is.
Honestly, I don't remember exactly what EMDR means.
But what is it? Like?
But it's basically a kind of like a rewiring of the brain.
Okay.
And it connects pathways back together so that you can think more clearly. So think of it as untangling all the noodles so that the pathways are connecting again.
Okay. And is that like a multiple session type of thing?
Depends on the trauma and what you're trying to work through. I am not a therapist, so I cannot answer that officially.
From your experience.
For me, I wouldn't go by me because my brain works very quickly in that it recalibrates pretty quickly.
Okay.
Which I think comes from moving a lot as a kid. So I'm very adaptive.
Okay. Yeah.
So it understood what was happening. Yeah, that's also why I'm very easygoing.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to change, lots of change all the time. But so it only took a session or two from me. But even my therapist was like, I've never seen that happen before. So I'm not a great example of it. So I think it's supposed to take a few sessions.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I've heard of EMDR, and now it's going to bother me what the acronym is, but I'll probably...
To the googs.
Yeah, to the Google. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
But yes, it's been amazing, and I still see my therapist, even though I've worked through a lot of my issues and everything. I see my therapist monthly, and it's a great pulse check. So it's been nice to have that regular check-ins and just talking about things. And sometimes there's nothing to talk about, and we just catch up, and other times we'll deal with something. So
yeah, it's good to have that steady, consistent check-ins, like you said. That's a good.
Yeah, and it's been literally years now.
Yeah.
And so
same therapist.
That's
nice.
Yeah, and I went through several.
Oh.
So he's a keeper.
I hear you.
And yeah, it's therapy is everything. Therapy is not weakness, and that's something that we also need to kind of get over. And I'm really happy that this has shifted in our society as well, that therapy is not weakness. It is actually strength, and talking to somebody is good. There's still people out there that don't feel that way, and I hope that we can, as a society, get over that thinking.
Yeah.
But artists and our community lean heavily into that, and I'm really happy to see that. Because, yeah, therapy is everything. That's another thing that has definitely significantly helped me to succeed.
Yeah, I've gone to therapy on and off since I was 13, 14. I'm like finally getting back into the right, another acronym for you, but ERP therapy, which is exposure response prevention, which is like the top tier standard for OCD. So, and that's what I struggle with most of the OCD, anxiety. OCD is an anxiety disorder. So, I just started going back to a therapist doing that. We've only done 2 sessions, so he's still learning what my issues are, what my, all that good stuff until we start actually getting into the therapy. And it's it's just basically facing the anxiety head on multiple times until it you get used to it. It's hard to explain, but
yeah.
I'm very excited about that. And it's funny because I'm actually working with that same platform, and they've been really supportive of the podcast. I was telling you about that. It's the same platform.
Yeah, nice.
Which is awesome. So
that's fantastic.
But yeah, therapy is very key, and finding the right therapy and the right therapist, because there's different therapists that are just going to do talk therapy, and talk therapy doesn't work for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
And I've definitely learned that about OCD because I've tried to do talk therapy for it, and it really doesn't do much. The only thing that talk therapy has really helped me with is like my depression, which I do have depression as well. So, yeah, it's the awareness has gotten better, and the stigma behind it, the thing that needs to really be pushed and talked about more, and like not necessarily talked about, activated, is more affordable therapy options. That is the most frustrating part, and one of the biggest barrier to entry, besides the fear, is being able to afford therapy in itself.
Yep.
So
being able to afford and be able to get into therapy, because there's such a shortage of therapists.
Exactly.
Which there's a lot more virtual options now.
Yeah, which is nice. There's the virtual. And I've used the virtual options ever since the pandemic. I mean, My psychiatrist lives in Iowa City, so I saw her earlier actually. And my therapist is, I forgot where he's at. He's like near Chicago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely some hurdles in our society for sure.
yeah, I'm hoping to eventually, develop some type of deal with a therapy company where I can get my listeners cheaper therapy.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would be very ideal. But yeah, if you live in the Quad Cities, though, on the Iowa side, I know they're working on the Illinois side. This is a plug, and there is a fund for therapy that will pay for 6 sessions, full sessions, and it's called the Foster's Care Fund. It's through Foster's Voice, which is a local nonprofit for suicide prevention. And if you contact, I believe it's Quad Cities Counselors, which I can put like a link and number in the description. No, they're not sponsoring this podcast. I'm just saying this because it's informative and it's helpful, because 6 sessions may not be all you need, but it'll get you a good start. Or that may be all you need for what you got going on. So, and that fund has plenty of money in it, from what I've heard. So check that out if you are somebody on the Iowa side in the Quad Cities listening. Otherwise, do some research, see if you can find, those outlets. There's a link on my website to a bunch of different virtual options for therapy. I need to check that because I haven't updated it in a while, but there's probably more I could add. But the majority of the main ones are on there that you could check out, and also using your employee assistance program. If you work for a company that has 20 or more people, you more than likely have the employee assistance program. It's like a mandatory. It's almost, I don't know if it's a mandatory thing, but it's pretty standard for most companies, and you can reach out to that, and they will pay for a certain amount of sessions for you as well. So there are resources to get around and at least get you started into therapy, and you don't have to worry about the cost if that's a fear of yours. So I like to throw that out there as well. But yeah, well, as usual, I went over time. I usually try to stick these at an hour, and I always go over. But I appreciate you coming in, and I'm glad we brought up therapy at the end. But you need to stop me because I will keep going when it comes to talking about therapy.
Therapy's great. Therapy's everything. It's something that should be talked about always.
And also, my last guest that I had on here, shout out to Cody. He is a therapist, and who has done therapy himself, and just the amount of people, because most of the majority of influencers you see or podcasters out there that are talking about mental health specifically are mostly female. So we were talking about we need more men out there speaking up and being open, because if you look at the stats, the suicide rates it's very skewed, and there's way more men taking their life because they're not talking about it and they're afraid to talk about it. And so that's another reason why I do what I do, and I try to share so openly and honest and be vulnerable, because I know there's other people out there that will see this and be like, oh, I can relate to that, or I can open up and talk about that. And getting away from that stigma for men and women, but just for men, I feel like it's some of us, the way we were brought up, it's don't talk about your feelings. That's men don't cry, all that bullshit. Luckily that wasn't a thing with me, but it was I feel like it's a societal thing. It was for a while, and we're still breaking through that. So
I know people that are still that way.
Yeah.
Because of various circumstance, how they were raised, any number of things. So, and parental figures that are very much that way.
Yeah.
So, speaking of content creators as well, I will give you the TikTok account of my therapist because he has a TikTok account that does a whole bunch of videos, shorts and things on
Awesome.
ADHD and talking about awareness and also coping mechanisms and all sorts of things.
That'll be sweet. Yeah, I'm about meeting more influencers. Yeah, that are advocating and sharing. Yeah, sharing like really just informative content.
Yeah.
Because there's been times for me, and I need to do more research on ADHD because I've been diagnosed with that as of like the last couple of years. Like, I've known about the OCD for a long time, so the ADHD is kind of new to me, and I'm just still kind of like accepting it. So I'm like, really? Do I really? You know?
There's so much out there, and the science, and people are just finding out more about it, and so a lot more people are getting diagnosed with it. So it's super common nowadays. So now it's just how do we find ways to cope with that and also drive it in productive ways so that we're not doing our self-destructive behaviors and various things.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm very very ADHD.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I have the
I have to do things.
Yeah,
like
I don't
all
know
the
if I
time.
have the H though. That's the thing with me. I'm like, because they're like they lump it in with the ADHD. I'm like, I think I'm just ADD. Like,
That could be, yeah.
Yeah, like.
But it's
It's kind of like tomato though.
There's so much. There's so many different things to it. Yeah, and for me, like I have different tics and behaviors and stuff like that, so that I know. I joke that I should have a webcam follow me around my house because I'm sure I catch myself doing different things. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine.
We all do weird things when we're at home by ourselves. Or
It's okay.
talking.
It's okay.
Or if somebody just like was to intervene and see me like having weird conversations with my cat and like.
Okay, now who doesn't talk to their animal though? I feel like that's not normal.
But I do it in the weirdest way, in the weirdest voice. Like if somebody saw me, they're like, "What the hell?"
I love it.
Yeah, I should probably let her out too. So she's probably pissed.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And I need to meet the kitty.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if she accepts you into her domicile because she's
fair.
very territorial.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this was fun. It was good getting to know you a little bit better and learning more.
Thank you so much
about
for
the
having
different
me.
worlds. Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.